doing is exactly what you should be doing.
And I have not behaved one single day of my life. Not one day of my life have I behaved, and I am fine.
I need your help. I can't tell you what it is. You can never ask me about it later, and we're going to hurt some people.
Whose car are we going to take?
And thank you for joining us on the Friday edition of the Nikki Medoro Show on YouTube. Myself with Kim McAllister and all of you. Thank you for being here.
It's really the post-birthday edition is what it is.
I know. I'm like kind of stretching it out. So it's so weird. I was having this conversation and this debate with, it's not a debate, but like this explanation about how old I am, right? Because I'm starting my 46th year of life, right? I just ended my 45th year of life because, right? Because you have to do it and then you hit it, right? And so it's like my first day in my 46th year of life. And I feel great. Honestly, yesterday was such a nice day. From everyone that joined us for the birthday show, and you guys were so generous yesterday for my birthday. I really appreciate it. And then I went out to lunch with my dad, and it's so funny. I was going to take pictures, Kim, of my meals, like for Friday food, like to show you guys where I devoured my lunch. I was so freaking hungry that I finished it and I sat there and I was like, oh, I forgot to take a picture of it. But we went to Pacific Catch, and I always get the trio of sushi tacos, which is one salmon, one tuna, and one yellowtail. And they have like little different toppings, and it's wrapped in like a nori wrapper as like the taco part. I swear to God, it is so freaking good and so delicious. It's kind of messy, you know what I mean? Because there's avocado, a little bit of sauce, and some rice and everything. It's bomb. It's so yummy. So I had that. And then my dad was like getting me. I had to take a nap in the middle of the day, which is totally fine because it was my birthday. But I go to the restaurant, and it was over. If you know San Jose, there's a shopping center called the Prune Yard. And it was hopping at lunchtime. I'm like, it's a Thursday. Why are all of you people here? I had to like park really far away. And so it took me a while to get to my parents. And when I arrived, they're like, they texted me. They're like, we're at the bar, at the seats by the bar. I'm like, okay. And so I sit down, and my mom doesn't drink alcohol anymore, but my dad does, obviously. And so he sits down, he's like, there's vodka in this. It's like, it looks like a nice tea. He's like, there's vodka in this. You're having a drink, right? And I was like, okay, I guess we're drinking at lunchtime. And so I order my kind of the Medoro Mule, but I did it with bourbon. And so I get one, and they made it really pretty because they told the server that it was my birthday, and he was so nice. Like, happy birthday, da 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 da. And so he brings it out. It's so pretty. He puts the Hawaiian flower. What's that pretty Hawaiian flower?
No, Dendrobium orchid, purple one.
Yeah, the purple one, and then like a lime. It was really pretty, right? And so I literally, Kim, 2 sips, and then he comes to take our order, and my dad's like, "You're gonna have another one, right?" And I'm like, "I am not even drinking the first one.
It's not even wine at 9. What's happening to me?"
Bring me and my daughter another cocktail, but with the food. I'm like, okay. So like. I had like 2 cocktails at lunch, and it was like a 2 cocktail lunch. I think I'm supposed to be like in business for doing something like that. But yeah, so had that, went home, probably took a nap. And it was so nice. And then I woke up, got my kid from school, came home, prepped for the show. And then my kids and my husband, they wouldn't tell me where I was going. Remember I said yesterday that I figured it was going to be meat because my husband was like, don't eat a lot of food at lunch with your parents. And so we go, and they won't tell me where we're going. He has it in the thing. But we got off near the airport, and I was like, are we going to Kyoto Palace? I kept thinking Kyoto Palace, but Kyoto Palace actually is in the Prune Yard. And the one we went to was House of Genji, which I will say this. If anybody does teppanyaki and likes it, in my mind, my rating of food at this type of in the Bay Area, Benihana's is at the top, then Kyoto Palace, and then House of Genji. Not saying House of Genji is bad, but as far as the business that it gets, it's below the rest of them because it's like on this busy street near the airport, right? Like, and then every parking stall, my husband was making this comment. He's like, every single parking stall has the sign that says, don't leave valuables in your car because it's not in the it's not in a terrible neighborhood, but it's not in a nice neighborhood, right? Kyoto Palace, is in the prune yard. I mean, there's so much happening there. Like they get great business. And then Benihana's is Benihana's. It's in the old Valco shopping center. But it's fun. Do you guys have teppanyaki in Petaluma?
I don't think so.
Have you ever been to a teppanyaki place?
No.
You've never had teppanyaki where they cook it in front of you with the chef?
Well, I've been Benihana, yeah. I've been to Benihana.
Okay, so you've been to Benihana. That's what it is. Yeah. Okay. But you don't have a Benihana in Petaluma, though.
No.
No, you have to travel for it. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I like it. It's a lot of fun, Marley. And then, what was interesting is I think weren't we like talking about life skills yesterday when the chick had, was upset about the 9 to 5 or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was reading a lot of articles about preparing kids for life skills. Remember, we were talking about laundry and things like that. And one of the things that always they make memes and funny videos about is kids not knowing, how to make out an envelope, right? Or how to make an appointment, like a doctor's appointment or something like that, or a reservation. And Marley did it, apparently. My daughter called the restaurant, set the whole reservation up, put it under her name, all sorts of things. So I was quite proud of her, and she did that. And it was, I don't know, it was a lot of fun.
Go, Marley, go.
No, and honestly, like when I stepped out of the restaurant, we were laughing, and it was one of those moments. It's really cheesy to say, but I totally mean it. I was just so happy. It was such a great day yesterday with my family, and it was great from beginning to end. It was absolutely fabulous. And then today I get to meet some of you. So a reminder that today is the day that I'm going to go to the Red Jack Saloon. Now, my husband has pulled the trigger and says we are going to take the train. I want to take the bullet train because it takes literally half the time. So we should be in San Francisco around 6. So we should be at the Red Jack Saloon around 6:30. I got to get an Uber and all that kind of stuff. So if you guys are planning on going, we'll probably be there around 6:30. And I don't know how long we're going to stay. I really don't know. I'm not putting the timeline on it. Taking the train.
I got a Facebook message from Sam last night saying, when's she going to be there? When should I come?
6:30. So 6:30 is what I mean. I guess if we miss the train, it would be 7:30 because that's the next. Well, no, probably not that late. That's just the next bullet train. But around 6:30 is when I am going to be there. And yeah, since we're taking the train, I don't know how long. Obviously, I have to take the train back, and I have children at home, so can't leave them that long. But I mean, they're grandparents, of course, but they don't want to stay up all night. But yeah, so we will be there at least for an hour or two. I could imagine something like that. I'm really excited to meet Lori and everybody and Sasha, who's getting the box. I keep having this nightmare that I'm on the train and I don't have the box in my hand. That is my nightmare. Like, it's like there is one reason that I'm going and I forget the one reason.
Put a note on the door, put a note in the car.
I have the box. I'm looking at the box, but it's just one of those things where, I'm so excited for one thing that I'm forgetting the main thing, which is the box. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Jim, I'll make a banner for it. But 6:30, Red Jack Saloon in San Francisco, if any of you can make there. And I'd love to just, obviously give Lori business to the bar and all sorts of things. So it should be fun. I was looking at pictures of the Red Jack, like inside. It's a total, it's a Redskins dive bar, which I think is really funny.
Cool.
Yeah. So it's going to be a good time tonight. So that's tonight. And then, yeah, it's going to be a fun time. All right. We are going to talk about all sorts of things on today's show. I don't know about you, Kim. I'm freezing right now. I have my blanket. God. It's blanket time again.
I went to get a sweater before I popped on. I'm looking, I don't have a blanket in my office right now, but I'm cold. It's cold in here. My hands are cold.
Even yesterday, I woke up, I went to go pick up my daughter from school and my car had been obviously sitting outside cold. And I looked at myself and I was like, oh my God, my lips are kind of blue. Like I'm cold, because I have terrible circulation anyway. My hands are freezing. PG&E is raising its rates again. We just talked to Loretta Lynch last week, so we know that this is coming. There is a statistic that it made my jaw drop when I saw it. Now I know 9 years is a long time, but from January of 2014 to September of 2023, so 9 years, PG&E rates have gone up 92%.
Isn't that the craziest thing?
92%.
And we complain about it, but nobody knows exactly what to do about it.
You can't do anything about it. You can't. I'm going to play you a little video just because I was like literally just listening to this and I still have it up on my computer. And again, we love Loretta Lynch. She explains it to us, writing your congressperson, writing that letter. I had posted it on the social media. on my social media feeds and on the YouTube description when Loretta Lynch was in last week, I think it was. And the letters and the numbers and everything to call the governor, that's, call your local congressman is kind of, the saying, but you have to be that squeaky wheel. But here is a news report on the PG&E rates.
The numbers showed that PG&E's average residential electric rates went up 38% over the past 3 years. And over the past 10 years, they went up 92%. That's extremely alarming for Mike Campbell with the Public Advocate's Office.
We are very concerned about the general trend of the direction that rates are going and how much faster that are increasing beyond inflation.
Campbell says the high rates are due in large part to PG&E's spending on wildfire mitigation, work to strengthen transmission and distribution lines, and rooftop solar incentives. So what can be done?
There is the opportunity to sell more electricity, which oddly can reduce, put some downward pressure on rates.
Finding a solution is especially critical now with PG&E asking regulators for another rate increase. The utility says some of that money is for the long-term investment of burying thousands of miles of power lines in high-risk areas to prevent wildfires. In a statement to KCRE3, PG&E says in part, we recognize our responsibility to serve our customers safely and reliably while working to stabilize bills for the long term. It adds that this work is unprecedented and represents the largest effort in the U.S. to underground power lines. Customers like Jackson say with the new report showing PG&E's rates are already higher than most utilities, there's got to be another way.
It's great to try and prevent wildfires, like I'm all for it, but it's coming to the cost of us.
The California Public Utilities Commission has proposed 2 other options, which they say will cost customers less. Those include cutting back the work to bury power lines. The CPUC could vote on those plans next month.
Yeah. Square, it boggles my mind. Square writes in, we conserve and adhere to the 9 a.m., 9 p.m. rule.
Yep, so do we.
Rewarded by a $39 bill last month. Always below $100 with the care incentives. What's the 9 to 9 rule?
So you are charged less if you so if I don't do my laundry until after 9 p.m., you wait to use your larger appliances until after peak hours.
9 a.m. I can't use anything big between 9 a.m. and 9 p.m.
You're going to start up the dishwasher. You're going to do some laundry, then do it after 9 p.m. Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, that's when I like to go to bed. Like, then I just don't know. I mean, I can understand. I need to look into that. I mean, okay, so, and that's large appliances. So let's go down the list. No dishwasher.
Right.
No washing machine. No dryer.
Right.
No AC. No heater.
I don't know if it's AC or heater. I think it's just big appliances.
Well, an AC, I would imagine. The AC
but I mean,
and the heaters are big appliances, right?
They don't want you to die. They just want you to conserve.
I think they do want us to die, actually. I'm going to push back a little bit on that. I'm sorry. I'm going to push back just a little bit. Okay, so Lori does 4 to 9. So that's when you don't use yours, right?
Actually, that's what we do too. It's 4 to 9. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
4 p.m.
4 p.m. to 9 p.m.
I was like, Jesus, when am I supposed to just be up all night long? All night long. Yeah, no, Square says the AC does have to wait.
Oh, really?
I think mine right now is 5 to 8. I'm not supposed to use my appliances between 5 and 8. And every time I look at my PG&E bill and they tell me when my peak use is, it's always 6 p.m. And I tell my children and I tell my husband, stop doing this. But that's when they get home and they're like, oh my God, I need this. And so yeah, I got to start cracking down, putting signs on things because I can only imagine what my bill's going to be like. And it's cold. Natalie was saying it's 61 degrees in my house. Yeah, that's chilly. I like 70. 70 is comfortable for me. But we are not going to be turning on the heat anytime soon.
Well, put on, as my husband says, put on a sweatshirt and put on a blanket. Put on some socks.
See, that's it. That's it.
Don't walk around,
Let's snuggle.
A tank top and your underwear and tell me you're cold.
Yeah,
you got
exactly.
a layer. Isn't
Murphy says
that's what we've come to.
Layer
it up.
Act like we don't have any sort of electricity. Murphy says, I run my dishwasher and washing machine overnight and then empty them in the morning. That's a good idea. I mean, if I remember, most of the time, though, my kids remind me they need something clean by the morning. So but I could stay up if I get used to it, like, okay, it's 9:00. Let's throw in a load of laundry. And then maybe I can throw it in the dryer before I go to bed and then get another one in the wash. And then I could throw that one in the morning. It's just a pain in the butt. It's just, I shouldn't have. It's annoying. PG&E sucks. So that's just kind of the, the fine point on that. Okay. Also coming up after Kim's headlines, we're going to obviously, well, go ahead. Did you want to say something?
I was just going to tell you, it's a joke in our family that if you're cold, my husband will look at you and say, well, it's not Thanksgiving yet.
What does that mean?
Because my mom historically does not turn on the heater until after Thanksgiving.
Oh.
Right. So it's not heater season until after Thanksgiving.
Do they even just throw it on Thanksgiving so people can be comfortable while they eat their turkey? Yes. Okay.
When she has guests.
What it is. It's holiday time. So let's
time.
spoil ourselves.
Then you can turn the heater on. But until then, layer it up. And so he'll look at you and go, it's sorry, not Thanksgiving. Nope.
Yeah. I do not have a timer on my washer or dryer. I don't believe I do, although I did buy a new washing machine, Lori. I don't think I've ever used a timer on a washing machine.
I bet you have one.
I wonder if I do.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like just throw it in there with a soap and then that's a good idea. I will look.
Pre-program it and then it's doing its work overnight. Yeah.
Right? That looks pretty good. Okay.
Too bad there's no little robot to transfer the washer to the dryer overnight.
I mean, I could have the daughter who stays up way too late probably be like, yo, move this stuff in, but no. Cases, I have a gas heater. I can use it, but the control panel is fried. Haven't actually used it in a few years. I'm also upstairs with units around me. Yeah, upstairs, you get all that heat, right? So you're like, thank you for sharing the heat with me. But if you're in a house that's just one story and everything's spread out, my parents use space heaters and then they go into one of their rooms and shuts the door and it gets toasty in there because they can just kind of, and then they're not heating the whole entire house because they have a big 2-story house and that's a lot of money. So, I'm not giving, my daughter has an electric blanket. Dylan sleeps on a loft bed, so he's kind of warmer, I would say. Like if there's going to be any heat rising, he'll get it. And then I'm just freezing my butt off. But I'll snuggle. I'll snuggle with my hubby. It's snuggle season. So there you go. Okay, let's do some headlines. When we come back, we, of course, I'm assuming Kim will also have in her news the latest on the search. I can't believe they still haven't found this dude. The search for the Maine shooter, but also the flip-flopping that's going on among some politicians regarding gun control. Others, no. We'll hear from our new speaker on that. But a congressman from Maine is changing his mind on gun control, and it's a step in the right direction. Do I have any faith that it's going to lead to anything, real change? No. And then I have to play you, and it's a couple of minutes, but it's worth it. ABC7 sat down with the judge that's handling the first care court in San Francisco. Blown away by this interview. Blown away by this judge and what he says and the emotion of this interview that I just think it's totally worth it. It makes me optimistic, although I think we need more of this type of judge, and I wonder if we have those types of people. I do have food also on the way. I'll tell you what that is when it arrives. I'll show it off. I don't think it's been dropped off. My ring didn't go off. So that's on the way because it's Fridays, and we have a bunch of food stories coming up during that segment. And there was another story that I wanted to do that was, I want to bring the kids and Kim into this one. How long and how many things do you save of your child's accomplishments? If your child has become student of the month, do you save the certificate? Do you save every trophy? Do you, as an adult, still have all the trophies, of things you competed in or things, even if you didn't win first place? Because there's a debate going on after actor Chris Pratt was like, do we really have to save all of these things? So if we have time, we'll do that. Plus, Tim Sika is going to join us in the second part of the show, of course, to talk all things movies and streaming. There's a movie that my kids want to watch that has terrible reviews. I'm thinking that Tim might agree with the other reviewers on that. But before we do that, click the thumbs up button, guys. Show your support of the show. The super chat is also live. And I do want to say thank you to Doug, who came in and started us off with a $5 super sticker. Thank you, Doug. I always appreciate the generosity of all of our listeners. You guys are awesome. You keep this show going. But the number one way to make sure that we can continue to do the show is to please sign up to be an official Medorable. There's so many people that are part of our community, and I would love it if each and every one of you was an official Medorable, and you get to choose the amount that you can afford once a month. So think about the things that you buy once a month. I mean, how many of you go out for coffee every day? Just go to thenikkimedoroshow.com, and our Patreon link is there. Click the Patreon link and then just sign up and you're automatically an official Medorable. You could do 5, 10, 20, 100, whatever you can afford once a month. And that helps us keep the show going. And it's that consistent money that we could depend on every month. And that's why we love all of our Medorables. If you go to thenikkimedoroshow.com, you'll also find all kinds of links. You'll find links to our merchandise shop, which is another way to support the show. PayPal. If you want to make a one-time payment or a one-time donation to the show, you could do that there. And if you want to reach me, my email address is thenikkimedoroshow@gmail.com. That's also the email that you put in if you go to PayPal and hit send and they ask for the email. That's the email, thenikkimedoroshow@gmail.com. All right. I'm going to check to see if my food has arrived. Kim has some headlines. We'll talk about those. That's all coming up on the Nikki Medoro Show.
Now, from around the world to up your street, the Nikki Medoro Show presents News Czar Kim McAllister.
Let's go to Maine and get caught up on what is happening in Lewiston, because the search continues. This suspected mass shooter remains on the loose. Robert Card is a 40-year-old Army reservist suspected of killing 18 people and injuring 13 more after opening fire inside of a bowling alley and then at a bar. Almost 700 square miles of the state under shelter-in-place orders, with officials saying Card should be considered armed and dangerous. He is, again, still considered at large. They've got the FBI, the U.S. Marshals, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives currently looking to locate him. And I will say, this has only been reported by Newsweek and ABC News, the presence of a possible suicide note. So Newsweek informed by ABC News that they said police have informed them about a note reportedly found in Card's home on Thursday afternoon. So does that mean that he is passed away? We don't know. The search is underway. And again, ABC, the only source for that story. Israeli forces have conducted another ground raid against Hamas in Gaza. Israel said it used troops, fighter jets, drones, and armored vehicles to soften Hamas targets. This comes as anticipation grows for this larger ground invasion into Hamas-controlled territory that is supposed to be happening any day. Here's what we know. Kids are attending pro-Palestine protests on Roblox now in the wake of the Israel-Hamas war. About 45% of Roblox users are 12 years old or younger, that according to Roblox data, and 60% of users are 16 or younger. A pro-Palestinian protest on the app has been visited more than 275,000 times. The House is back after an extended search for a new speaker, and lawmakers are already moving to censure and expel one another. Georgia Republican Marjorie Taylor Greene introduced a motion to force a vote on censuring Michigan Democrat Rashida Tlaib for her criticism of Israel. Tlaib has spoken out against Israel in its war with Hamas. New York Congressman George Santos pleading not guilty to the latest round in the federal charges against him, fraud charges, I should say. Santos was arraigned today in Central Islip on 23 charges, including identity theft, credit card fraud, and conspiracy. The Republican is accused of stealing his campaign donors' identities and putting unauthorized charges on their credit cards. Yeah, that ought to do it. Inflation driving up the cost of Halloween and haunting consumers' wallets. Oh no. The cost to celebrate Halloween, it's up 7% this year. Most of that increase is from candy sale prices. According to Money Geek, a study they have done, candy costs 37% more now than it did a decade ago in 2013. 37%.
37%. No.
That's a lot of Snickers, let me tell you.
I mean, but what's the difference in price? Like 37%. So I mean, nickel candy too. It costs you, $1 or maybe something like that. I don't know. I mean,
so we're going to not only a Halloween thing tonight, but we're going on Halloween. one of my son's classmates, they have a huge house on a huge street where everyone in town practically goes trick-or-treating. Thousands and thousands of people.
That's my neighborhood, yeah.
And so I said, can I bring anything? And she said, yeah, just bring a bag of candy because we always run out.
Yes.
Okay. So that's what we're bringing, a giant bag of candy. And I think the bag of candy is a big one. And I got it at Safeway and it cost me close to like $27, $28.
Mine cost me $20. Yeah, for a big bag of candy. And I think there's like, I don't know, maybe 500-600 pieces of candy in it or something like that. I don't know. It's a gigantic bag of candy. And I mean, last year, I think somebody went through maybe 1,000 I think they went through 1,000 pieces of candy in like 2 hours. Gosh. I mean, it was insane the amount of people that came out because there's so many. And I don't mind asking, and they were really polite, but some kids are like, can I have a second piece? And I'm like, no, I have so many people to give candy to. I don't like to deny kids, and I don't care the age. I don't care if you're wearing a costume. You come up to me, you get a piece of candy. I do not care. I'm not like that. But you're not getting two. I have so many people to give candy to. And this is our first year here, and unfortunately, or fortunately, I just like going to my parents' neighborhood which is it's a mile away. It's across the street, but it's just where I grew up. And so I just go there. And now that neighborhood's gone crazy. My parents are not going to sit out on the driveway for as long as it takes to get through all these people. They're like, you're giving out the candy again. Yes. And I'm like, yes, we will give out the candy. So it's fun. I love it. I love Halloween. It's a great time of year.
A California talk radio host is out of the presidential race. Did you ever even know he was in? It was Larry Elder. He suspended his campaign yesterday and endorsed Donald Trump instead. The 71-year-old said he was running in April, but he didn't get enough support to qualify for the Republican Party's candidate debates. God. He also failed in his effort to replace Governor Gavin Newsom in a 2021 recall election. So maybe it's the end of politics for Larry Elder.
I mean, he doesn't know politics. I mean, we learned that before. I'm going to say this, but I really feel that this is where it's heading. You know how Hollywood, and I'm using this in quotes, or TV shows has been infiltrated by influencers. Like, what do you know about acting or whatever? But it's this reality TV type of thing. To get clout, they go on these shows like Bachelor in Paradise, this crap show that I watch, right? I feel like politics is getting that way. I want to make a name for myself, so I'm going to run. I don't know anything about politics. I don't know really how things work, right? If you gave me a civics test, I might fail it, but I want to make a name for myself. I want free advertising, and so I'm going to run for president of the United States of America. And that's where I feel that this culture is kind of heading politically, like we did with television and reality TV and things like that.
The state of California, one step closer to adding 270 electric vehicle fast chargers. About $40 million in federal funding will be distributed so they can be built at 26 sites along our highways. The governor says there is a direct result of President Biden's infrastructure law, and it adds to the goal of getting more clean cars on California roadways. So, ask most Californians, and they'll tell you, yeah, we know California is an expensive place to live, but look at where we get to live, right? Some areas, though, could come as a surprise. U.S. News and World Report, they did this ranking of 25 of the highest cost cities, most expensive cities to live in. 12 of them are here in California.
Of course. Talk all the crap you want to about California, but everybody likes to live here. So
number one surprised me a little bit. San Diego, number one. Los Angeles, number two. Santa Barbara at 5th. San Francisco follows it at 6. Salinas, 7. Santa Rosa, 8. Vallejo and Fairfield combine the 10th spot ahead of New York. Sacramento, Stockton, Modesto, and Fresno also all make the list of the most expensive cities, which is a little bit surprising to me.
I don't know what we do about that, though. I mean, I understand, there's the sunshine tax, but there's the sunshine tax to live here, like the cost of rent and mortgage, but there doesn't seem to be a sunshine tax for employers to have to pay higher wages because people live here. That's what I would like to see. The math isn't mathing. I say it all the time. You need to pay people more to live in this area because you want to have a business in this area. If you cannot afford to pay people adults who work full time, okay, if that is your business model and you can't pay people enough, your business model doesn't work. That's just it. Like, you have to factor in the cost of employees into your business costs. Or you're slave labor, right? I mean, yeah, I'm going to pay somebody a penny because they need the job. They can't live on that. So it's just, I wish there was more of an understanding on that from the employer side. Like, I want to have a restaurant. I want to have a car wash. I want to do all these things. And if I want that person, that adult, to work full time, right? So they really can't work another job unless they work 24 hours a day. If I want that, if that's my model, then I need to pay them a wage in which they can live on. That's as simple as that. And if you can't afford it, you can't afford the business.
Which brings me to my next story. It looks like California's high cost of living may be to blame for more people packing it up and moving it on out.
Bye. Don't let the door hit you.
See ya later. A new Stanford University study finds the exodus now includes college graduates and residents at all income levels. Yeah. The research shows they're heading to Arizona, Nevada, and Texas at greater levels than ever before. Experts say families and businesses are simply in need of more affordable conditions.
Well, and then what's going to happen to those areas, right? I mean, as more people move, they hopefully won't do what California has done for a long time, which Governor Newsom, I think, was talking about yesterday, is we have stopped the progress of building housing because anybody can object to it and stop a project in its tracks. Anybody, one person doesn't like the shadows that are cast on the ground because of that building being built. Now that's been stopped. Now that's ridiculous. Do I think there should be some safeguards and restrictions? Yes, but we've gone off the deep end with it, so much so that there is no way that in the near future, we are going to be able to build enough housing to address the housing crisis that we are in. And so this is just going to get even worse before it gets better. So hopefully Arizona and other places where people are moving to will build more quickly, or their cost of housing is going to skyrocket. And let me guess, the wages won't be able to keep up. So.
Little mini Californias all over the place.
Exactly. And then they're going to blame liberals. And it's like, well, Democrats will always be blamed for it, right? Even though it seems to me that most of the democratically run areas have the most wealth. I mean, we do. We just do. We may look at red states and their cost of living and their wages and things like that. And obviously Texas and Florida, not counting, but Kentucky, Arkansas, some of these deep red states, their infrastructure is crumbling, their wages don't keep up, but their housing isn't out there either because they don't have that to support it.
The World Series between the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Texas Rangers starts tonight.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm not a big baseball person, so I didn't.
No, well, it's a World Series. I mean, yeah.
Are you going to watch it, Kim?
No, yeah, okay. No. Seats at the Rangers ballpark aren't the only thing that's expensive, though. They're selling a $250 sandwich trio. It includes a 2-foot-long lobster roll topped with beef tenderloin and a 2-foot-long hot dog and a 2-foot-long beef patty topped with chili cheese, jalapenos, and onion rings. You get all three of those things for $250.
No. No. You're insane.
World Series is not for you.
$200. A lobster roll with, you said beef brisket on top?
A lobster roll topped with beef tenderloin.
No, that sounds disgusting.
A 2-foot-long hot dog.
Okay.
2 feet's pretty big. And a 2-foot-long beef patty topped with chili, cheese, jalapenos, and onion rings.
No, that's not even close to $200. I guess at a ballpark. Oh. But no, I mean, come on. And no,
that's a lot of food.
Last night. I had a steak and lobster.
Oh, look at you, fancy birthday girl.
I love lobster, but I'm not going to get lobster. No, I mean, I get the crab sandwich at Oracle Park. It was AT&T Park at the time. Yeah. The crab sandwich is bomb diggity. I'm telling you, it's delicious. But I ain't paying $200 for it. That's not going to happen. No, thank you.
This report sponsored by you. It means that in order to buy our $250 sandwich trio, we're going to need to come asking. No, you can find us at thenikkimedoroshow.com, thenikkimedoroshow.com, where the Patreon and PayPal links are, and we couldn't be more thankful for your support. I'm Kim McAllister on this post-Nikki Medoro birthday show.
Thank you. And I want to say thank you also to Harry. Doug beat him with the $5 donation that Doug made, but Harry gave us a $5 Happy Friday. Nice. And yes, it's also laundry day.
No.
Laundry day is every day.
Just
in my
do it
house.
after 9 p.m. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, it is Friday. I do Friday food. I was in the mood for something yummy. I had the cheese Danish thing on my head again, but I was like, you know what, give it up. And I have not tried this place before. Now, I love bagels. Do you like? I don't know. I don't know anybody that dislikes bagels.
Who doesn't like a nice bagel? I mean, come on.
I love bagels, and I buy bagels sometimes, right? I like an everything bagel and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, I was like, so I was searching for bagels that are nearby, that aren't too far away. That's where my eyes are going at my age. And so I saw the shop called the Bagel Guys. I don't know if it's a chain. It wasn't too far away. They make something called a Kragel. Anybody in the comments ever had a Kragel?
No, what's that?
A Kragel is a mix between a croissant and a bagel. It's Kragel.
Interesting. Okay? So is it more croissant or more bagel?
So I just opened it up, and I got the jalapeno one because
it looks very dark.
It does look dark. So there it is. I asked for it toasted, so maybe that's why. Let me open it up.
It's interesting.
Okay, and there's like a little bit of cheese inside of it. There's like a little bit of cheese. I'll do this side. This side's actually a little prettier. So there you go. I did not get anything on it because they were going to charge me like $2 just to smack some butter on it, and I have, you know me, jalapeno cream cheese. So I'm going to give this a shot, but I have a bunch of other food stories. Now, you were talking about the price of candy.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the Hershey's chocolate story? Hold on, let me bring it up real quickly. Just speaking of candy. Consumer Reports finds concerning levels of lead in chocolate.
Oh, I've seen this story, but mostly it's dark chocolate, like extra dark chocolate.
Yeah, so apparently the consumer group said 16 of the 48 products from various makers that scientists tested contained potentially harmful levels of lead, cadmium, or both. They tested 7 products: dark chocolate bars, milk chocolate, cocoa powder, chocolate chips, and mixes for brownies, chocolate cake, and hot chocolate. Products found to contain excessive metal included dark chocolate bar, hot chocolate mix from Walmart.
Oh, wow.
Cocoa powder from Hershey's, and Droste. It's a semi-sweet chocolate chips from Target. Semi-sweet chocolate chips from Target, and hot chocolate mixes from Trader Joe's, Nestle, and Starbucks. Only milk chocolate bars, which have fewer cocoa solids, were found not to contain the excessive metal content. Obviously, you don't want this in your system, especially if you're pregnant. I ate a ton of candy when I was pregnant. Yeah,
Well,
and they consider chocolate a minor source of exposure to lead.
Wow. Yeah, kids eat. I mean, my kids, every time it rains, they know they get free hot chocolate at In-N-Out. Did you know that? Yeah.
Wait, is that a you thing or an In-N-Out thing?
That's an In-N-Out thing.
No way. I never knew that.
It has to be raining, and all the kids that want the hot chocolate have to be in the vehicle.
Okay.
But after school, if it's raining after school, I get a shout of let's go to In-N-Out because they have free hot chocolate. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do they advertise that somewhere?
I don't know, but I was the first in line the other day after school, and I said, "Are we doing free hot chocolates today?" And the guy kind of talked to the manager on the microphone, and they said, "Yep, it's raining, so yep, we're doing it."
All right, well, let me take a bite of this. Hold on. Judy does not like jalapeno anything. Doug loves, though, jalapeno. And Casso bagels are the best.
I'm kind of with Judy. I don't know what Casso bagels are. So I guess I have a question about this once you eat it. Is it like, the croissant is layers upon layers of pastry, whereas a bagel would be more just kind of bread dough, right? So is this really a good mixture of the two? Is it a little of each?
I will say it has kind of that croissant-y taste.
Okay.
And I will also say this. I'm quite pleased with the spice of the jalapeno. Hold on, I'm cooking.
And she has to take a drink. It's got a little kick to it.
Well, no, I had like a crumb that was like just stuck on the back of my throat. It has a lot of the croissant kind of flavor, but it has a nice spice on it. Like I could tell they did put some jalapeno in this. So I don't know if you could see the layers.
Oh, it's usually hard to impress you, Spice
I know, with spice. Well, I mean, it's not spicy, but I definitely get the jalapeno flavor. I mean, I'm sure my jalapeno cream cheese helps. But I mean, there's like a big chunk of jalapeno right there.
Mm.
So I'm going to take that bite right now.
Can't imagine something I would not enjoy at all more.
Nervous. It's so yummy. It's good. And it is breadstick day. I'll be honest. I looked for something with breadsticks, but everything's not open yet. Lori says,
would you order that again?
Maybe. I like a jalapeno bagel. I don't know if I would go the like trendy, like Kregel route.
This.
Yeah.
You chew, I'll read.
Yes.
If it's fluffy, it's not a bagel. Bagels are dense. House of Bagels, real bagels, Noah bagels, no. I call these California bagels.
I like Noah's bagels.
I
Lori.
do too. That's because we're from California.
They have a great lox sandwich. Oh, do you like lox?
I don't usually order a lox. No.
I love it. I mean, I've really only gotten the lox bagel from Noah's Bagels, and it's really good. They put capers and cucumbers and tomato and cream cheese. It's really a good hearty sandwich. And they don't slouch on the lox. They load it up. It's really, really a good sandwich. So, yeah, I mean, I guess fluffy is not a bagel. I would never consider Noah's Bagels fluffy. And House of Bagels, I think I have a House of Bagels across the street from a Noah's Bagels, if I'm correct.
See,
I think there's one in that parking lot.
The puffier the bagel looks, the more I'm attracted to it.
I don't know. Like dense and bagel doesn't sound appetizing to me.
There's a place in Petaluma that is an independent bagel place. I went there once and I'll never go there again because I think I bought a bagel and an iced tea and it was more than $20. And I thought, are you kidding me? No, very, very expensive bagels.
Bagel and wait, you got a bagel and an iced tea. $20.
Yeah, more than that, like 23 something. Plus they want you to give them a tip. So
Wow.
I walked out of there. I think I paid $25 for a bagel and an iced tea. And I thought, well, this is out of hand. No.
No. That's, yeah. Correct. Fluffy is not a bagel. Okay. And then somebody said this. Hold on. Where did it go? Oh yeah. Phineas is the only place that has better lox than Noah's is Whole Foods.
Oh.
And there's a Whole Foods right across from Noah's. Maybe I'll go give that a shot next time I decide to eat a bagels. David's Deli in San Francisco. Anyone know if that's still open? They used to have New York bagels. Now, I heard that we can't actually get real New York bagels here because the most important thing is the water. Apparently, it's the water that makes all the difference.
Kind of like you can't get real sourdough anywhere else. Because,
yeah, something like that, right?
Yeah, we have the temperature, the climate for that.
Yeah.
Brian says fluffy bagel means fresh bagel, right?
I don't know. SJ Lola says, I think Noah steams their bagels. I don't know. I just love bagels. I will tell you this. I love a bagel. And it's so much bread that I usually only eat half a bagel when I buy them in the store and I keep them in the fridge. I usually only eat, half a bagel because it's a lot of bread. It really is. But then I load it up with all kinds of yummy stuff like cream cheese or meat or cheese, or if I'm having an egg sandwich or something like that, that's what I do. It's Brooklyn sewer water. That's funny. Okay, I have a couple more food stories. So we did the Hershey's one. Wendy's starting today, and I know that Kim doesn't eat fast food meat. What do I like at Wendy's? I don't think that their chicken nuggets are that bad. I think that they're okay. I don't remember the last time I've gone to Wendy's, so forgive me. But you know what Wendy's used to make really good? And I know this might gross some of you out. A fish sandwich. It was a big piece of cod, and I think it was panko breaded, so it was really crispy. And Wendy's makes it all hot, and it was hot. I remember they make a really good fish sandwich, but
I don't know how I feel about fast food fish. Like
it's
I have
really
questions.
good. Well, I mean, it's literally frozen. It's like what you get at Gordon's Fisherman, like Gordon's, like the fish sticks. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, it's not like it's fresh. It's frozen and they deep fried, and it's freaking delicious. So yeah. So, anyways, Wendy's is kicking off its Hallow Wendy's weekend starting today. And you can get, let's see, all kinds of free chicken sandwiches, nuggets. Today it's BOGO premium sandwich. which includes, this does not sound good to me, a loaded nacho cheeseburger. Okay. Tomorrow it's a free crispy chicken sandwich. The 29th is a breakfast sandwich. Ooh, croissant or biscuit. On the 30th, you can get a small coffee or a frosty cream cold brew. And then on Halloween, you can get a free 6-piece nugget with any purchase. I know. I mean, don't hit on my fish, dude. Grady's like, please, no, Nikki. No, I'm telling you, it ain't bad. It's really, no.
There used to be a place, and I don't know if they're still around, but there used to be a chain, and there was one in Petaluma called Long John Silver's. Remember that place? And it was a fast
used to be one over here.
fish
Yeah.
place.
Yeah. I've eaten there, I think, once in my life, but yes.
I remember it from when I was little, but I mean, I hadn't been there since it closed, and it closed when I was young, so I don't know.
Yeah. Long John Silver's. There used to, when I lived in Sacramento, I forget the name of the place. Oh, Tugboat. But it was like one of those places, like a fried fish kind of place. I love a piece of fried fish. Like, whether it's a fish taco or fish and chips or something like that, I like it. But I always find when I go to one of those places like Long John Silver's, everything seems fried, right? And from the French fries to the fish to the onion rings to whatever else they have, that it kind of makes me a little nauseous. So I'm like, can I get a salad with this? I need something like real that's not fried. So
I need something not coated in oil.
Exactly. Taco Bell has won the Taco Tuesday trademark. I don't know if we talked about this before. So anybody, any restaurant, anywhere can say Taco Tuesday and not get dinged. Because remember, there was that other place that was trying to say that it was theirs and they had the trademark on it.
Yeah,
and then they let the trademark lapse. And then Taco Bell was like, well, then I'm going to use it. And then it was like this big old thing. And so, Taco John's is who had the trademark. They abandoned their registration. And so now any Mexican or whatever place has tacos, you can use the term a Taco Tuesday anytime you like.
They had to sue like 3 different places to get and I think the last one, just last week, there was some settlement. And so now Taco Tuesday becomes okay to use for everybody else. And that's kind of a sleazy thing to trademark Taco Tuesday.
Well, it became a thing. I mean, if you start something and you think you're being, the alliteration of it all is funny to you, but then it took off. Right. I mean, I don't think people can foresee something. Taco Tuesday wasn't always a thing. It just kind of became a thing in recent times. And so they're like, now, wait a minute, this is our gig. And they lost their trademark, or they let it lapse. They didn't really lose it. But Amy, Long John Silver made me sick when I was a kid. Never went again. You know what's funny? Is it could just have been like a bad day, bad, whatever, right. And not necessarily everybody. But if it happens to you, you will never return. And I hands down agree with that. Oh, absolutely. Vilma hates the fries at Long John Silver's. Love the fish. Hate the smell of the whole place because it smells like grease. Exactly. It just is kind of, it's too much. You feel like you're greasy when you get in there because it's all. I can't imagine working at a place that fried so many foods. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Long John Silver is still in Sacramento on Northgate. Lynn, if you live in the Sacramento area, is it Tugboat? I feel like Tugboat. I wish my husband was listening because he's probably screaming at the screen. There was a place I could still see it, and we would go there. They had hush puppies. I
love a hush puppy.
Yeah, they used to, and those were bomb. Like they're fluffy on the inside and crisp on the outside. They're really, really good. But again, it's not good for you. You should not have that much fried food in your belly at one time at all. Calvin, I think, sent me this, and my husband and I were just talking about it yesterday. A burger joint called the Burger Pit. It's been in San Jose since the 1950s. It's closing for good next April. Apparently, obviously they've been around for so long, and people still go there. Burger Pit is one of those places I don't think I might have eaten there once in my entire life, but it's one of those staples where you just drive past it all the time and you expect it to always be there. It was in South San Jose. And this article in San Jose Spotlight says, we were before McDonald's, before Burger King, before everybody. And we made quite a success out of it. 10 burgers for $1. You want to talk about like 10 burgers for $1. It was a dispute over the lease that ended Burger Pit's long run in South San Jose. It's been out of compliance with the city's building code for years, and they expect the building to actually be demolished and will be replaced by a new development. I mean, it's kind of sad, but whenever I see stories like this, Kim, I'm just like, okay, but when's the last time you went? Right? Like people are like, oh my God, this town's going to crap. We lost the burger pit or fill in the blank business. And I always go, okay, but when did you go? Right? It's just like in San Francisco, all those stores closing. When was the last time you went? I mean, some of them, yes, people have gone to, but some of them, really, when did you go there? When did you shop there? When did you make it a point? And how often did you go? Because going once in a blue moon isn't going to cut it for business, especially in a place like California. So yeah, it's just things open, things closed. Do you have, I bet you this is not a chain. Have you ever heard of a restaurant called Brown Chicken, Brown Cow?
No.
Okay. It's down in my neck of the woods. It's in Campbell. I've eaten there twice. They're closing down. They have like these artisanal burgers and, stuff like that. They have a lot of, organic type of stuff, grass-fed meat, things like that. You know what I mean?
Sounds like my kind of place.
They're closing. It's pretty good, but it wasn't in a good location. It was in one of those places where they had to have a sign that says, oh, we're around the corner type of thing. That ain't going to work. That's not going to work. So they're closing. But there is a new restaurant that's opening up, a rooftop restaurant. What's it called? It's called Copita. I don't know if I'm putting the emphasis on the wrong thing. Copita. It's a rooftop restaurant and tequila bar that's opening up in San Jose. And it looks gorgeous. I like rooftop bars. I think it's such a cool, like, kind of hip thing to do. So we'll see. I mean, restaurants open, restaurants close all the time. Is it a sign of a failure of an area? I don't think so. Yes, exactly. I think I'm Copita in Willow Glen. I think I'm pronouncing that right.
I have to go get a blanket. I'm freezing myself.
Go get your blanket.
I'll be right back. I'll be BRB.
John's like, if you notice, Burger King always gives away their chicken nuggets. If you taste them, then you'll figure out why. Chris says 10 burgers for $1 wasn't as insane as it sounds back then. I mean, how big of them? Are we talking about like White Castle burgers as the 10 burgers? If they're definitely a decent size, that's a lot of burger. Tom, Burger Pit has the best burgers. I've been going to them since the late 60s. Not just Burger Pit, but Kirk Burgers. I don't know how long Kirk Burgers have been there. They're like the steak burger place. I went there not too long ago. That's a pretty good burger. Burger is a funny word to say over and over again. But yeah, places open and close. It's not, in my opinion, a sign that we're anti-business, which is one of the reactions I often see on social media when it's something like the Burger Pit or something. So it's like, that's why they're bad for business. Now, could the lease have gotten too expensive for the clientele that they get on a regular basis? Probably. But that just goes to show you that you don't have the clientele to maintain the restaurant or whatever business that you have. So if you're a shoe store in San Francisco's Union Square, and yeah, your sign's been on the building forever and a day, but people aren't actually walking through the doors. They just like looking at the sign on the building all the time. Well, that's not going to pay the rent. And that's just the truth. It's just the truth. It's just not going to happen. Let's see. Does Burger King still serve tacos? I don't think so. I don't know. I haven't been to Burger King. I don't eat a ton of fast food except for my Taco Bell, which even that I haven't even eaten that much. Vilma says the giant burger place is called Nations. Grape pies. I think you mean great, unless a grape pie. That sounds weird to me. And big burgers. I've been to Nations. I think there's one on the way to Sacramento, if I'm correct. In Tracy, maybe not in Tracy, but yeah. Right. Phineas says, Nikki, if you ever get back to Sacramento, go to Relish Burger in El Dorado Hills and order the Gilroy garlic burger. Well, that sounds delicious.
Goodness. That sounds interesting.
That sounds delicious. Yeah, I mean, food, honestly, though, look at Kim and her blanket. She's snuggling. She's not even trying to hide it. At least I have mine down on my lap.
At this point, I need to have it like up above my dad sent me this blanket on my last birthday, and it's a generic letter on the blanket. It's like, dear daughter, It says a bunch of stuff
Aw.
about love in it. But every time I use this blanket, it feels like I'm getting a big hug from my dad.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Calvin says, wear a Snuggie. I have a ton of those, the
Use a
blankets that you can
Snuggie.
wear with the hoods.
Oh my
Maybe
God,
I'll wear
it's
it
cold.
next week. A reminder, I'm not going to be here on Monday, but I will be here the rest of next week. So I'll be at the new building, the new.
Oh, I saw pictures of it yesterday. Brett was posting pictures. It looks nice.
Yeah, it's nice. I
Mhm.
love it. It's because only one person works the board, and the person that doesn't have to work it, I think, is like, oh, it's great. And then the person that does is like, it's a little stressful. But yeah, I'm excited. I will probably have to work the board a little bit on Monday, so forgive me if you guys are listening. It'll be really early in the morning if you're up that early. Okay, let's move on from food. Let's move on from food. Wait.
I just want to do this one last text from John, who says
Okay.
he ate at Fat Burger in LA, where they have scores of strange toppings you can put on the burgers there.
Ooh,
Interesting.
Like what kind of
Fat
strange
burger.
toppings? I
I
mean, how strange
wonder.
are we really getting? Are we putting like tenderloin on lobster burgers? Is that because that's gross?
Yeah. Calvin with a throwback, a KGO throwback. Don't spill coffee on the new carpet.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. Although they're still working on it. I'm curious to see. So I saw it Wednesday was the last day I was up there, right? So there was stuff everywhere. Pardon me. Because they have all the stations. They have Alice. They have all kinds of different radio stations in there. And some of them have been there for a while. We're like the last to go because it's the news,
It's
right?
big operation, yeah.
A huge operation.
Yeah.
But there's stuff everywhere. So I'm really curious to see how much they get done.
Oh, he says, okay, so it's squid, a fried egg,
That's not too bad.
and a regular egg,
Shrimp? Ew.
Yeah.
On a burger?
Yeah, that's
No.
weird.
No. That's a big I don't want seafood
Mm-hmm.
on meat. Does that make sense? I don't want to mix my meat and my seafood. No.
Is that why the 2-foot-long lobster roll with beef brisket
Yes,
on
that
top
sounds
was upsetting
disgusting.
to you?
Well, like a surf and turf is a thing. I just want to eat it together in a bun, right?
Yeah.
Like that sounds gross to me. That sounds gross. Okay. Do you have your headlines ready or no? Do you need more time?
I always have headlines ready. for
Okay,
you.
let's do some headlines. And then when we come back, we'll have a little fun with how long do you guys keep childhood mementos? How many of you have a closet full of, or do your parents have a closet full of crap? I'm exposing my opinion over here that you gathered as a kid. And what should you save? If you have kids, do you save just the winning trophies? Do you save the participation ribbons? Do you save the student of the month things? Do you save all of the sashes you get from graduation? Do you have the hats? Do you have the diplomas? How much do you save and what do you do with it? Let me know. Also, I want to know how Kim feels about this. Did you hear about the mom that refused a baby shower and instead had a nesting party? Do you know what a nesting party is? It sounds genius.
Is that where they help you like paint the room and put the crib together?
Well, I'll have details. It's not exactly that. I don't know how
Okay.
comfortable I would feel having one of these. I'd participate in it, but I don't know if I could sit there and have a nesting party. So I'll detail that as well. Also, Tim Sika is going to join us as he always does on Friday to let us know what to watch and what to stream. Five Nights at Freddy's is one of them. I can't stop seeing the previews for it. And just to let you know, so you could be hip with the cool kids, it's called FNAF. That's
is
what
that
the kids
right?
call it. FNAF. My son kept looking, he's like, I want to go see FNAF. And I was like, what the hell is FNAF? And then they're like, Five Nights at Freddy's. And then my husband and I at the exact same time were like, everything's an acronym. Like, you just can't just say all the words. These kids have to have an acronym for everything. So we'll see if Tim Sika thinks that the movie, because other people were saying it's not that good. All right, here's Kim with some headlines.
Now, from around the world to up your street, the Nikki Medoro Show presents News Czar Kim McAllister.
This suspected mass shooter remains at large in Maine. Lewiston Police Chief David St. Pierre is asking the public, stay patient as the investigation continues. He says there are many moving parts here. Robert Card, 40-year-old U.S. Army reservist, is suspected of killing 18, injuring 13 more when he opened fire inside of a bowling alley and a bar. Hamas and Iran's Revolutionary Guard facing new sanctions from the United States. The Treasury Department said in a statement today it was issuing a second round of sanctions targeting assets in Hamas investments portfolio and people helping the Palestinian militant group evade sanctions. The new sanctions also target a Hamas official in Iran and 6 members of Iran's Revolutionary Guard. Things are definitely heating up when it comes to that. FTX co-founder Sam Bankman-Fried is taking the witness stand this hour in his fraud trial in New York federal court. The former CEO of the cryptocurrency exchange is accused of fraud after the exchange and its associated trading firm collapsed late last year. He is expected to testify. He wasn't running a fraud, but instead, it was just a clumsy startup founder who found himself in over his head.
Right. I don't think that he should be. I'm surprised a bit that he's going to testify.
Yeah.
Because usually they advise you not to do that because of the cross examination and it looks, it can go bad. Basically, you have a little bit more control if the person that's
Once
actually
you
being
get up
accused.
there, it means you can be cross-examined.
Yes, exactly.
And then,
so we'll see. I mean, it's a nice story, dude, but no, thank you.
You must remember this case, but the mother of that 6-year-old who shot his teacher in Virginia, she's being sentenced for child neglect today.
Good.
Her name is Deja Taylor. She pleaded guilty in August and took a plea deal in which prosecutors will ask for 6 months. They say her son climbed on a dresser, grabbed a gun from her purse, and took it to Rich Neck Elementary the next morning, where he shot his teacher, Abby Zormer, in class. Of course, she survived, but is no longer teaching in the classroom, I believe, right? I think that.
No, and I think she's also suing the school. And
Yeah,
remember, I think they're the
school
ones that
district,
said,
yeah.
oh, it's a risk of being a teacher or something like that. Remember? That was
Outrageous.
a workplace injury. It's like, no, MFR.
No.
I did not sign up for this. No, thank you.
The Actors Union says yesterday's negotiations with Hollywood studios finally made some progress. Look at that. SAG-AFTRA members have reduced their demand for a first-year increase in minimum rates and said their focus is on negotiating in good faith to secure a fair deal for actors.
Good.
The Actors Union and studio executives still at odds on other issues, including the use of AI and digital replicas as well.
Don't give in on that or
No.
you're going to get yourself right out of a career. I really hope they stand firm on that. Like, no, you cannot use my image as many times as you want. You don't get to own my image. Why would they ever hire you again? Why would they ever hire you again? It doesn't make any sense. Stop it. And the technology is only going to get better. So if you think, oh, well, it only will be like in the back. No, dude, they're going to have you talking and walking and doing all kinds of crap. And then you'll never get another paycheck.
Yeah, no, they have to stand firm. Otherwise, they'll never be hired again. Your likeness is already recorded. So, more families in Pajaro near Watsonville are finally returning home. Imagine this, that you've been out of your home from last winter to now. I mean, that's so long. People in the Kents Court neighborhood have been staying at hotels since March when a levee break caused widespread flooding and damage. Monterey County owns the 19 mobile home units built as affordable housing. The Board of Supervisors chair gave the update saying all repairs were done, from repaving driveways to adding new wood steps. So the people are finally moving home.
Yeah.
Another development in this case against a Bay Area pilot accused of trying to crash a plane. Joseph Emerson entering another not guilty plea yesterday, this time in federal court. That is where he is charged with interference. He answered to 83 charges of attempted murder in state court yesterday. The 44-year-old was off duty Sunday night, but sitting in the cockpit and the jump seat of a Horizon Air flight when prosecutors say he tried to shut off the engines and then open an emergency door. That plane was headed from Washington to San Francisco. And of course, Emerson says he was suffering from depression and had tried taking magic mushrooms, and that may have affected his.
Yeah.
He said, I just wanted to wake up from a dream.
I mean, what do you think? I wonder what the punishment's really going to be. I mean, just throw the guy in prison and throw away the key. I mean, he could have killed a lot of people, and he does need to serve time. But how do we rehabilitate someone like that? Do we even want to rehabilitate somebody like that?
83. I mean, if you're convicted on 83 counts of attempted murder, I don't know if you're going to get out.
Yeah, and it's sad because I believe him, right? I believe that he was really depressed, especially because everyone that knew him was like, this is not the guy. Like, he's the nicest guy. Did you hear this, that in front of his house it was all decorated for Halloween?
Yeah.
And then there was a sign that said free flying lessons, inquire inside. It's like,
Oh God.
mm-hmm. I mean, because he's a pilot, right? And so, not saying that we've never heard, oh my God, I'm so shocked that this person did this heinous thing before. I just do kind of believe that he was really depressed. Obviously, add the magic mushrooms in there. He's going to have to go to prison. It sucks that he's our age. Like, he's my age. It's to throw away the key on this guy. It's really a tragedy all around, you know, and he has a
little
family.
kids.
Yeah, it's
he's not going to get to
crazy.
see those boys grow up.
No, he will not.
In San Jose, more license plate readers are coming in. Watch out, Nikki. Leadfoot Nikki. The police department plans to install 300 cameras around major thoroughfares and shopping centers right in time for the holidays. They say it's a way to fight retail theft. The crime has been soaring across the city, up 25% last year from 2021. Police say even if criminals remove their license plates, the technology will capture the entire vehicle to help officers find it faster.
Okay, so now you have a picture of a vehicle that's also on the road. Although, unless it has distinguishing details. I didn't even tell you guys. I was leaving San Francisco, and a guy, I don't know if it was a guy or a girl, a driver ran me off the road in front of, I'm not even kidding, right in front of, what's the big convention center over by Howard?
Moscone? Cow
Yeah,
Palace?
I think it was by the Moscone Center right there. I'm in the left lane going through the light right in front, and this guy cuts across. I had to get almost on the curb. I thought he hit my car, like sideswiped my car. He must have missed me by a breath, because I didn't get any sort of. I was so pissed off. I took a picture, and he got stopped at a light, but he was like a car or two in front of me. So I took a picture of his license plate and his car. And then I was like, all of you guys in my head, don't get out of the car, Nikki. Don't get out of the car, Nikki. You're going to get shot, Nikki. So I didn't get out of the car. I took a bunch of pictures. And then what was I going to do with it? That's my question with this thing. Like,
send them to the police department and nothing will happen.
And nothing's going to happen. It's not as if I recorded him almost hitting me and pushing me off the road. So that's what I'm saying here. Like, okay, you have a picture of a car that was taken how long ago? Maybe they'll have more, obviously, if you can have the whole interaction. That will make a difference, yes. But come on. I mean, you need to catch people in the act. They have to fear that there's an officer around. I don't know if cameras are going to do it, but we'll see, I guess.
Well, it is Halloween weekend. And you know what really bothers me is that Halloween isn't on the weekend. And I feel like the next school day should always be a day off. Like
always
on
off.
Halloween, whatever comes next should always be the day off. But that's not the way life works.
Well, it is for my son. My
cool.
son's school district always makes the next day a teacher in service, but my daughter's no longer in the same district.
Oh.
And so she has to go to school the next day. And I feel for her, but gotta go.
Gotta go. Some people, though, may want to make sure their decorations aren't breaking the laws. In some parts of the U.S., there are laws against houses being too scary this Halloween. Legally, in the United States, a trick-or-treater can sue a homeowner for scaring them too much and causing emotional stress.
Oh, stop. Are you serious?
Yeah.
No, please no, that's ridiculous.
Last night, Julia came running out of her room and said, it's early. I said, what's early? Taylor Swift's 1989. It's early.
Yeah, Marley had it on timer.
They did it a day early. Taylor Swift is now thanking rapper Kendrick Lamar after he re-recorded his verse for the deluxe edition of 1989's Taylor's version. Lamar redid his vocals for their hit song together entitled Bad Blood Remix. Swift said that the reality that Kendrick would go back and re-record the song so she could claim it and own the work is surreal and bewildering to her that he would come out and do that for her like
she
that.
is such a big star right now.
Yeah.
It doesn't surprise me at all. But yeah, Marley, when we went out to dinner for my birthday yesterday, she had the countdown on her phone, Yeah. Because Spotify obviously drops it. And then she the whole way home, because they dropped it like right when we left the restaurant, singing in the back seat. And then Taylor put out this whole like message, like this, I think on the album, like this note to where she was back in, when she made the album originally and where she is now and all that kind of stuff. So she'll sell a ton of it. And she added like, I think 4 new tracks from the vault. So she's giving people something more than what
extra.
they had to. She has to. You can't buy the exact same album.
Also last night I was asked for a $75 sweatshirt. Taylor Swift has a new sweatshirt for the 1989 album release, and it's actually really cute, but it's $75.
I bought Marley one after Taylor Swift. It was black with purple. It's like she's looking through blinds. It's really a cute sweatshirt. I think I paid on the website $50. Which is not that bad. I mean, I think it was like with shipping maybe $60 and all that. Because she didn't buy anything at the concert, so I gave her that. So.
Yeah, I bought it and I bought it for Christmas, so I'll hold it for Christmas.
Oh, look at you! See, that's what you do. We're in that window where they ask for something.
Well, and they're teenagers, and it's really hard to know what they want. You don't buy them toys anymore, really. And she already has a phone, so yeah. Last weekend, I watched the Taylor Swift documentary from 2 years ago, Turn Me Into a Swiftie. I'm
Miss
telling
Americana?
you, Wes, is that the one where she's kind of does it from home and she's just telling stories? That was surprisingly really good.
Yeah.
I wasn't a Swiftie before that either, Wes, but I'm like, I kind of respect the way she writes songs and her passion for the telling of the stories. And I know you guys are all Swifted out. I was trying to find a picture of the sweatshirt to show you. It's kind of like a light blue tie-dye. It's cute.
Okay. All right.
And all it says on the front is 1989. And Julia said, you would never know it's a Taylor Swift sweatshirt unless you know. She said, if you know, you know.
Oh, interesting. You know, I'm wearing my Beyonce sweatshirt again today because I was freezing my butt off and I did laundry. And it's not that warm. I will tell you this. It's not that. It's like a shirt. It's more like a long sleeve shirt than a sweatshirt. But Marley's sweatshirt that I got her, it's an actual sweatshirt and keeps her warm. So.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And thank you, Maud for the $25. And she says,
Hail Samhain and the All Father. I don't know what that means, but thank you for the $25.
We don't know, Maud. You're going to have to explain that to us.
Yeah. Let us know what that means. I don't know what that means, but Wes also came through with a $5 super sticker. But yeah, Maud, thank you so much for the donation as well. Explain. I don't know. Is it a special day? I don't know. I don't know,
but we thank you because this report is sponsored by you, which means we got to count on you guys to support the show, and we do. So find us at thenikkimedoroshow.com, thenikkimedoroshow.com. All the links are there to the Patreon, the PayPal, the Nikki Medoro shop. It's all one-stop shopping at thenikkimedoroshow.com. And I'm Kim McAllister, all snuggled up on the Nikki Medoro Show.
She is all snuggled up. All snuggly-wuggly. All right. So here's a question for you. Do you have like a closet full of all your kids' accomplishments?
Yes.
Artwork. Okay. Now, I'm not, let's take artwork out of it. Because you'll be inundated. Trophies, certificates. What do you keep? Do you just keep everything?
So they have baby books, and I just slide these certificates or, teacher notes or whatever paper items I have, tickets to plays or, programs from talent shows, that all goes in the baby book.
Okay.
And the trophies and such and ribbons are in their room. I don't know, but here's what happened to me. I had cheerleading trophies and things.
Right.
And one day I opened my front door when I bought a house, and there's a giant black hefty bag, and inside is all the crap from my childhood.
Yes.
Like everything. My mom saved nothing. She just loaded it into a black hefty bag.
She did save it. She doesn't want it anymore.
Either you want it or the garbage man wants it. You get to pick. I'm like, oh, okay. I guess I'll go through the bag then. But I do save everything.
So how much of your stuff did you save?
Not very much. I saved my cheerleading uniform, my pom-poms, one cheerleading trophy, and a candle I made when I was 6, and that's it.
So I don't know how much my mom has left. She always had this it was like a bench, and then it went down, and so she would stick like photo albums and all kinds of stuff. So I wasn't in a lot of sports. I played Softball, I played a little bit of soccer when I was really little, but dance is what I did. So we we were good. So we always had like the gigantic, grand winner or whatever, trophies.
Yeah.
And we display some of them, and I'd have some of them in my closet. I don't know. I'll have to ask my mom if she kept any of it. But I just feel like there's no freaking way that we should be keeping every single award. If your kid is good at something, that's a lot of trophies. And the reason why I want to talk about this is, why save them? Does it seem like a little sad if you're an adult displaying trophies that you got in high school?
When you're young. Yeah. Mine are in the garage somewhere. I don't even know.
But like, why even use the garage? What if you're not displaying them? Do you think someone's going to open that box and be like, this is treasure? Like, why save them?
It felt ungrateful I have a trophy of my dad's. When he was in high school, he won a Best Actor award for being in the school play in high school.
Oh, that's cool.
And so I have that. His name is on the front of it. And I used to keep pens, and it was like a little cup, and I used to keep pens in it. So I don't know. I mean, maybe somewhere along the line, someone will think it's cool. I don't know.
Well, I have a trophy. I do remember because we moved. I have a trophy that my dad and I won at the father-daughter dance, where we won the dance competition.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And so I mean, that's a memory together.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But like first place in a swim competition from middle or high school. I don't know. Do you remember that competition?
No, but
I don't know.
My kids get soccer trophies or medallions just for participating in the season. No one really won anything.
No,
it's just like and they're so excited to get it at the time, but it's not a saver,
No. I mean, I will say this: if I received, I know, Chris, doesn't everyone have a trophy room? If I won something as an adult,
me. I'm the only one who saved all my accomplishments in my entire life.
Exactly. Now, when we work in radio, right? Like, I've received awards, and I'll be completely honest, for my reporting. I don't even know where those are. Like, I really do. I'm sure they're in a box somewhere.
I tried to take one on the way out of KGO, and they looked at me in horror.
Yeah,
it was I got one for breaking news for the Asiana Airlines crash. Remember that?
Yeah.
And it was on a glass shelf in the conference room. And I reached back for it, and my boss, Lee Hammer, was like, "What are you?" And I was just kidding, but I thought, you don't really need those anyway. What are you guys going to do with it?
What are you going to do with them? Like, put them in a box somewhere, and then it's, again, just in storage. So the reason why I'm talking about this is Chris Pratt, the actor.
Mm-hmm.
He's married to Catherine formerly Schwarzenegger Pratt, right? And apparently Arnold and Maria kept everything. I'm trying to you can't really see it, but like superstar 4th grade. You know what I mean? Like,
oh no.
Yeah, all these sorts. And she's like, sir, and he's like, how long are we supposed to keep this crap? And of course, the parents give it to her. And then what do you do with it? Are you supposed to just go through it, go, oh yeah, I was an awesome kid who did all these things, and then toss it? Because that's what I'm leaning towards. It's like, okay, go down memory lane. If there's something like my father-daughter dance trophy with my dad, where you remember the memory, right? Like, I remember what I was wearing. Mm-hmm. I was wearing this ribbed long dress because it was the 90s, right? So it was like this ribbed long dress that had these buttons all the way down, and I had long red fake nails and Doc Marten boots. That was my outfit because it was the 90s. And I remember I loved the fact that I was wearing my Doc Martens because that's the reason I could dance. Like, my feet weren't hurting. I was getting down, and my hair had been straightened. And my dad will still tease me to this day. I guess I kept doing this move because my hair was in my face all the time. So I kept going like, flip one side, flip the other side. And he's like, this is all I keep seeing over and over. You're flipping your hair. You're flipping your hair. And so we just laugh about it. And so I kept that because it was more of a memory.
Right.
Do I need every dance trophy? Even though I remember the dances and everything like that, not necessarily. What am I supposed to say? Yeah, I danced. We won the state competition. Like, I don't know if I necessarily need it because it's up here in my brain. Like, okay, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because I know, my kids have won things, karate and stuff like that, but we're not a big trophy because we're not a big sports family and those sorts of things. So I don't know, but artwork, I am up to my eyeballs in artwork. And some of them I keep and some of them I toss. And that's just the way it is, kids. Sorry.
So Jacob's up to a purple belt in karate now.
Nice.
So I think it goes white, yellow, orange, purple, and then green and on and on.
Yeah.
But I think for Christmas, I'm going to get him one of those little holders.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Previous belts, so you can put that on your wall and look at your accomplishments. Yeah.
I mean, but that also keeps it contained too. We used to, Marley and Dylan both did karate. They didn't get all the way up to black belt, but they got pretty far before they didn't want to do it anymore. And, but I mean, I remember I used to have this big bag of belts. And it just became too much. And I think we tossed them.
You're like, see you later, belts.
But again, it's like, am I supposed to feel bad about it? I really don't. And I'm sorry to say, I just don't. Okay. Well, speaking of kids, Kim, I'm assuming you had a baby shower with both of your kids, correct?
I had the baby shower of all baby showers. My friends threw me the biggest, pinkest baby shower in history.
What about for Jacob?
At that point, I've been trying for 7 years.
Right.
I think your first baby shower is your big baby shower. And I had a baby shower for Jacob, but it wasn't the same.
It wasn't a blowout.
Yeah, it was a blowout. I mean, I remember sitting in this, and my friend converts her garage into like a party room.
Nice.
And so it's a really big space, and the whole thing was just pink everywhere.
Nice.
And this pile of presents in the middle. I was so overwhelmed just with the outpouring of love. So amazing. Yeah.
I remember with Marley, because she was my first, I had a baby shower at home. I had a baby, and I lived in Sacramento at the time.
Yeah.
And so I had a blessing way. I had a friend who
What's that?
So a blessing way is it's more of kind of a spiritual thing.
Okay.
We did henna on my belly, and women give basically their blessings over your pregnancy and over motherhood. It was really, really sweet.
Cool.
It wasn't very
Yeah.
gift game focused like baby showers, but it was a really sweet. We made flags. So we got the woman that threw it for me, she got all this really cool material. And we still have, talking about stuff I save, I have all of this.
Yeah.
And they're flags, and they wrote either messages on there or they did designs, and then they strung it on a string. And when I was in labor, I hung it. And it was supposed to help me through my labor. And I have a charm bracelet that's actually in a bag because the string broke, of all these different charms that I wore. The picture I have of the first moment of me holding Marley, you'll see this bracelet on me, and it's all these charms. And it was really, really sweet. Like, I adored it. Now, this is what this woman did. She didn't want a baby shower. Okay. She wanted a nesting party. Now, when I hear nesting, I think of getting the room ready, getting the house ready, all those sorts of things.
Yeah.
And so this is what she did. I'm going to play you the video. It's less than a minute long. Now you tell me, would you be able to, one, ask people to attend this nesting party, and two, watch the nesting party happen? Here we go.
So I had my nesting party last night instead of a baby shower.
Are they cleaning her house?
My friend Bree organized it. I sent her a list of things that I wanted to get done before baby came, and she made little cards for each person to take on a section of the house. I kind of took on more of a supervisor role, kind of telling people where I wanted things and what I wanted to do with things. And then we took a dinner break, ate some soup, some sourdough bread, some treats, and just chatted about this baby and how it's going to be. And then we got straight back to work, and everything was so clean and organized, and I feel so much more ready for this baby. And everyone brought freezer meals for me for postpartum, and it was so much fun.
Yeah, fun for you.
Well, okay, so now this is what I'm saying. So
No.
I don't know necessarily if I would mind being invited to a nesting party. Like, if you tell me that there's something physically that I could do for you that's going to make your pregnancy and first, moments of being a mother easier, hands down, I'll help you out. My problem is, I don't know, as a pregnant woman, if I could sit there and watch people that I know clean my house. Like,
I would never ask people to clean that's very uncomfortable for me.
Yes, like they're like, this is kind of gross, or what, you know what I mean? Like, so I love having a housekeeper. I don't have one at this house. It was kind of one of the joys of, my my
Working in the
promotion.
city.
Exactly. I was able to afford it. I don't do
Mhm.
it now. But I remember my best friend would be like, dude, pay me. I'll clean your house. And I was like, there's no way in hell I'd ever have you clean my house. Not saying you wouldn't do a good
Yeah.
job. I don't want people I know cleaning my house. It
Yeah.
seems really intimate. There was somebody like shampooing her carpet.
Mm-mm.
Now organizing the baby clothes, getting the baby room done. I
That's
can see
different.
that. Washing my
Maybe-
walls. I
Maybe
don't know.
even, having everyone in your new nursery and helping decorate or putting up
Yeah.
stencils on the wall or something like that. But cleaning your house and vacuuming the goop from underneath the cushions and all that. My mother came over, and I remember feeling like my house wasn't like it had to be spit spot.
Yeah.
It had to be perfect to bring
Really
a baby
clean,
home.
yeah.
No dust anywhere, like perfect. I didn't want any trouble, anything laying around. And so my mom came over and helped me get organized and whatever. But that's
Right.
different, otherwise, if you really can't clean your own house, then you hire somebody.
Well, you got a big old belly, so you don't want to. Natalie,
Hire
it makes an
somebody.
excellent. Yeah, can't your friends chip in and pay for a housekeeper to come while you
Right.
go out to brunch with your friends? Now
Right.
that's. But I
like
feel
the way
like it's
Natalie
the whole
thinks. Yeah.
bonding thing. Like, let's bond. But you know what? This is the other thing that kind of I thought about. There's no way I think
Yeah.
you would ever hear men say this. Like, you know what I need, guys? I'm having a baby. Can you come over and clean my house? It's no, because they're
No.
not nesting. And I don't know if men, and maybe correct me, men that have children. I don't know if men have that hormonal reaction to I'm about to give birth. Because
Don't
that's
you
what women
think-
feel. They're like, I got to get everything ready. I have to get everything ready.
Yeah.
And it's this kind
Mhm.
of literally, I felt it physically like
Yeah,
things
as a biological
are
thing
not
that happens.
ready. I need
Do I have
to
enough
get
of
it
this?
ready.
Do I have enough of that? Is it ready for? Yeah.
Yes.
But do you feel like if you're the one leaning over, scrubbing the windowsills or something, you might be thinking in your head, like, glad to be helping you, but this is weird.
Yes. Or if I got the invitation, like,
Yeah.
here are a bunch of things that need to be done. Now, if my friends came over of their own volition and were
Mhm.
like, hey, we came over to clean your house, I probably first think, wow, my house must be really dirty. This is the first thing you thought of giving me.
How bad is it?
I
Looks
know.
all right to me.
As you're like pushing like the crumbs underneath the couch and stuff like
Oh.
that. So, I mean, yeah, SJ Lola, the meal thing is okay, but cleaning someone's house, no.
Yeah.
John says that's not a party, that's a favor. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Now there are
Um,
certain people I would do that for.
Clean,
But
your
I
house?
would do it like, so I have this friend who asks my daughter to babysit sometimes.
Mhm.
And it was her first couple of times babysitting. So I went with her just because she's only 13 at the time.
Of course,
So I
yeah.
was kind of like in a supervisory role and nothing else to do. So I realized the kitchen needs to be cleaned. So I jumped in and cleaned the kitchen. So when she comes home, which I think is a babysitter role, right after you put the kids to bed, you kind of straighten up the kitchen, whatever.
If I dirtied it, I'm not cleaning your kitchen for free. No.
Oh, so I cleaned her kitchen. But
if I cooked and cleaned and like I fed the kids and I did stuff like that, I would
No.
of course. But no, I'm not. I would feel insulted if my babysitter was watching my kids and then cleaned my kitchen as if like your kitchen needed
I
it.
thought that was part of it. I always did that when I babysat, like babysitting and light cleaning,
If that's part of the deal, but if it's
Yeah.
not, you better pay me for it. I ain't
Yeah.
giving free. Well, this was your friend though, right?
But yeah, there are some moments where, if I see something that needs to be done, I'll jump in. If I'm at someone's house for dinner, I'll help do the dishes, that type
Well,
of thing. I help
yes.
all those things. But to like actually come and, provide a service. You're
I do
asking a
like
lot,
the
lady.
idea of it, but I would much rather it. Yeah, I would much rather it be a housekeeper and we all go out, right?
Yeah.
Or surprise me with it, right? Like let the
Yeah.
husband know or somebody know that a housekeeper is coming into the house. But like, hey, we're gonna take you out for brunch for a couple hours, maybe
Right.
walk around, get a baby outfit or something, and then you come home and your house is spick and span, like
Mhm.
done. But I think also this nesting party included getting the baby's room ready. I wouldn't want a
Yeah.
housekeeper to do that.
No.
So yeah, I don't
I
know.
like Vilma's idea. Chip in for a month of housekeeping.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the baby or after the baby comes. That's a good idea.
I know
Yeah.
my best friend that I told you was like, hire me to clean your house.
Mhm.
One of her workers, because she's having a health thing, paid for her to have a housekeeper. And she's like, oh, I never want to give it up. I'm like, see, it's so nice when you don't have to do your own base. And now, obviously, I
True.
clean my house regularly, but
Yeah.
all those little chores, like I just deep cleaned my bathroom the other day.
Mm-hmm.
it's a pain in the ass. I don't want to do that one.
Is,
You know what
but
I
then
mean?
When it's done, it feels like
so
you've
nice.
really accomplished it.
James came home and I was like, do you want to go look at the bathroom? And he's like, I guess. And I was like, see?
It's the worst when you clean it and you take all that time to do something and no one else notices but you.
You're like, don't you notice? Well, the problem with me is I shed hair like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like I'm constantly shedding hair. And so my husband's always like, oh, you mean you clean the bathroom up of all of your hair? I was like, well, and other things as well. Like the shower that we share is clean now. But yeah, it's nice to have a housekeeper, but it's definitely a luxury I cannot afford. Oh,
that's the $75 sweatshirt.
What does it say in the square?
1989.
Oh, that's 1989. Oh, Taylor Swift people will know that. That's cute. It's the clouds. It's the album cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really cute sweatshirt, actually. I like that a lot. I'd wear that.
It says 1989 Taylor's
version. Yes. Yeah, there you go. It's cute.
I think it's pretty cute. It's $75 cute.
75. Oh my goodness gracious.
Yeah. Anyway, Merry Christmas.
And you already bought it, right? Because it's going to
Happy
sell
holidays.
out. You know that?
Yeah.
You know it's going to definitely sell out. So I don't know if Marley wants any other Taylor Swift stuff. It was funny because yesterday we're at dinner and Christmas is coming. And I think I told you guys this last year or earlier this year that my son was disappointed because we got him not everything, but everything that was on his list, he got, you know what I mean? He wasn't surprised by anything under the tree. And so I looked at him like, well, when you write your Christmas list, just give me a category, I guess, and let me figure it out. You know, like I guess
put a question mark. This will be the mystery gift
or something. So, but I find gift giving so difficult. That's why I like to give experiences because I don't know. What do you need? And nowadays, like, remember when we were young, getting a CD or a cassette tape or whatever, however old you are, was a big deal. But now with Spotify and streaming, I don't buy my children music like that anymore. So it's not like, unless they want a record, like the vinyl of it. But then my daughter has a bunch of vinyl, but she does it to display it. She has a record player too, but she doesn't want to ruin the records. But yeah, it's just...
What's with
hard.
Kids and record players? Julia has my old record player from when I was young.
Yeah. Oh, we got her a cute new one. Like it's like this vintage looking one. It's cute, but she never uses it.
Oh, Julia uses hers all the time. As a matter of fact, there's a new record store in Petaluma. She'll go to the record store. Recently she bought Louis Armstrong, Ella Fitzgerald, and the Frank Sinatra album. And she has Taylor Swift albums, and she plays records in her room like an old-fashioned kid.
Well, Marley did when we first got it for her, but now she likes to display them because she doesn't want to keep opening up the record and putting it on there. You know, it's that kind of thing. So I bought my husband years ago this box set of Bob Marley. It cost me a freaking pretty penny. He won't open it. And I'm like, let's listen to it. Because he doesn't want to ruin it. And I'm like, I didn't buy it for you to stare at. No, we have it. It's stored. We're not playing it. And I don't subscribe to that. I subscribe to I bought it, let's enjoy it, and who cares?
Right.
Because we're not.
To him, it's a collector's item.
Yes, exactly. So it's one of those things where it's like, well, I wouldn't have bought it for you then if I couldn't listen to it.
Yeah.
It's like I wanted to listen to it, but
I like your whole Christmas gift thing of experiences instead of the material stuff.
But nobody wants it. I'm the only one that wants it. Nobody wants to have any sort of experience. They're like, no, I want to. And I understand the desire to open something. That's why, and we're not going to Disneyland, of course, but usually like for little kids, they get gifts of the Mickey ears or a sweatshirt or something that kind of goes with, we're going, and then it ends with, we're going to Disneyland. So they have something to open, but then it's so much stuff.
Kay in Santa Rosa said, I bowled for 35 years starting at age 10. I have so many plaques and trophies. Once an adult, prizes are given in cash.
Yeah,
baby. I finally popped the etched plates off and donated the trophies and the plaques. It's a good idea.
Yeah, so you keep the plate so it tells you, you won whatever. But you don't have to keep the entire gigantic big thing. And trophies can get expensive. You know what I mean? So that's really generous. What you need and what you want is different. I know, Vilma. It's just when I think of gifts, this is the thing that I always think of is that yes, opening it up is exciting, but that what is it? The hangover, the Christmas kind of hangover, kind of depression that happens because it's material goods. You want to feel good, have an experience, have a memory, make a memory. So that's what I'm always looking for. And I fail often in trying to find something that's really gonna make people happy and things like that. It's and Grady, we are in Scorpio season. Go Scorpios. Okay, well, it is time now to switch gears and talk about all things movies and streaming with our friend Tim Sika.
Hi,
Nikki.
Kim. Hi, Nikki. Hi, Kim.
How are ya?
Good. It's
okay,
cold.
good.
It's cold.
I'm telling you,
We
my
have our
friend.
blankets.
We're
We have our
we're
blankets.
bundled up because we can't afford PG&E bills.
Exactly.
Me too. Yeah, my heat is off. I'm just weathering the cold with a parka on.
It is so cold. And I know it's the time of year. Obviously, it's fall.
Yeah,
And, people bundle up with their pumpkin spice latte crap. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. But at the same time, it's freaking cold. And I don't like it.
I know. And like a month ago, we were complaining about how hot it was. So,
We're never, ever satisfied.
Never satisfied.
We are not. Okay, yes. I want to talk movies and streaming. I forgot to get my pictures up, so you're just gonna have to do it without pictures.
Oh,
but
that's okay.
I'm gonna get the other ones up. But let's start with it's October. It's Halloween.
Yes, it's coming
so
up,
that means that there's a lot of scary movies. Correct?
Yeah.
So let's start with. What is this called? When Evil Lurks.
Oh, yeah.
Am I going to like this one because it sounds like something I'm going to like?
If I had to bet the farm, I would say this will go to maybe your top 10 of all time horror movies.
Oh.
Wow.
No, really.
Calling
all you hardcore movie horror fans, I mean, boy, is this a movie for them.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, so what is it? Okay, it's a co-production of Argentina and the U.S. It's in Spanish with English subtitles. You kind of almost don't even notice that because you get so wrapped up in the movie immediately. I mean, you forget that you're watching a film in subtitles. But it's about these two brothers who live in this small rural town that's being slowly infected by a kind of possession, a kind of evil force that they stumble upon when they find this demon-infected man about to give birth to evil itself. Okay. So they decide, I know that sounds silly, but anyway, I'll get to that. But so they decide to kill this guy, but there's complications in killing him, which I won't go into. So they then decide to simply get rid of this man, and this thinking that this evil that's about to be born from him will just be, brushed to the side, and then they won't have to think about it. But when they do that, things for these two brothers and their families and everybody with whom they come in contact with just get worse and worse and worse. And this is hardcore, heavy-duty horror with explosions of brutality, which make you want to look away. It's this bowels from hell horror movie that's tense and gross and shocking and violent and disgusting, and it's unsparing. I mean, maybe I'm overselling it, but this movie messed with my head. I mean, it messed
really?
with my psyche. Yeah. And as you guys know, I'm always looking for meaning in movies I see. Not that there has to be meaning in a movie for me to enjoy it, especially a horror movie, but it's always a bonus when there's something else going on in the story. And When Evil Lurks would have been a good horror movie, even if it were just that hellish and violent and gross and scary and all that. But this movie, in addition to being all those things, it just works. It's like a scary movie. It seems to be making, to me, this dual statement about evil itself. One, when you fear it to the point of acting irrationally, the ending will not be pretty at all. And two, that you can't just go about trying to get rid of evil, its effects and its manifestations without consideration of evil's cause. Because if you do that without examining and looking at the cause of the evil, that evil really won't ever go away, and it'll only get worse until it engulfs you, like it does these characters in this movie. This is a wow horror flick. It's not for the squeamish. It doesn't always make objective sense, but it has the dream logic of a nightmare. And that aspect of the film is handled really well because you really don't care. And you don't even have much time to think about it anyway, because you're just waiting on pins and needles for the next burst of brutality to show itself.
Interesting.
And rare, it's ugly head. Oh, this movie just messed with my head.
Interesting. Now, you said this is on Shudder. What is Shudder?
Shudder is a streaming service that's devoted to horror films. It's
is it free? Do we have to pay for it?
Gee, see, I don't know because they just send me these links.
It to you.
Yeah, they send me these links to review. So
you could try it for 7 days free. So it must cost. I just Googled it. So
yeah, no, really, but
okay.
Nikki, seriously, if you watch it streaming at home, definitely watch it with the lights on.
You know I won't do that.
You have to. You have to. Real. Oh, okay. Well, I've warned you.
You've warned me, huh? I might have to just check it out. You're just piquing my interest.
Shudder, SHUDDER.
Yeah,
they have plans starting at $4.99 a month.
I would just try the free 7-day thing and then cancel it.
It's all well. If you love it, like, and you love, you
love horror movies,
so maybe it's
might,
no, I'm not buying another streaming service. I cannot do it. I just cannot.
I know.
Their tagline is "It's so good, it's scary."
All right, well, let's see if this is scary. My kids want to see this. They played the video game, Five Nights at Freddy's, or FNAF, as the kids say, Tim.
Yeah, FNAF. Yeah, FNAF. This is a less successful horror movie, Five Nights at Freddy's.
I'm not shocked.
Well, it's not what the trailer implies it's going to be. And after seeing it, honestly, I couldn't believe that box office prognosticators were claiming that it was going to bring in 50 million over opening weekend. Because when evil lurks hit you over the head like a sledgehammer with its like vision of this inescapable hell on earth, Five Nights at Freddy's does something different altogether. It's based on the video game franchise, Nikki, as you said, of the same name. It's created by this guy named Scott Cawthon, who is one of the writers and producers of this movie version. It seems as though the movie took a while to come together. I mean, script-wise, there were a lot of creative differences between the initial participants, and the movie went through a lot of directors too. Chris Columbus was originally attached, but it finally was directed by a lady named Emma Tammy, I believe, making her feature film directorial debut. There are do you know about 50% of the movies I think I've reviewed this year have been directed by women, which I think is great.
That's awesome.
Well, this is another one. Anyway, and the premise is Josh Hutcherson plays this emotionally troubled guy who has difficulty holding on to a job for reasons which we gradually learn. And he accepts this job as a nighttime security guard at this abandoned family pizzeria entertainment center. Think Chuck E. Cheese.
Okay.
I'm sure
the animatronics and things like that.
Yeah. No, really, this movie I think was probably inspired by Chuck E. Cheese. Whatever happened to Chuck E. Cheese?
Yeah, they kind of went under during COVID, I think.
Yeah, I think
nobody wants to go to that disgusting place and touch everything during COVID.
Yeah, it's such a weird place. But anyway, this troubled guy takes a job as a night security guard at Freddy's Family Entertainment Pizzeria, where he discovers that the 4 animatronic characters who reside there come to life and kill anybody who is still there after midnight, right?
Oh, okay.
And somebody told me recently, and we've talked about this, Nikki, before on your show, but this fellow said it better. He's a professional theater critic, and he recently said to me that having a good time at the theater is all about managing your expectations. Mm-hmm. And that applies here. Freddy's is getting really blasted by the critics, and I think it's because the marketing of this movie is off base. This has a horror movie setting, but it's really not that kind of a horror movie. It's very slow paced. It's not particularly scary in the way you think a horror movie might be or should be, or what a movie that's being advertised like Five Nights at Freddy's is being advertised. This is more of a psychological drama about trauma and child abduction and guilt over the kidnapping of a child when under a person's supervision. They look the wrong way for 5 seconds, and there goes the little brother.
Okay.
Yeah, it's if you go in expecting a When Evil Lurks or a Saw kind of horror movie, you may even consider walking out, because there's a lot of quiet, understated backstory here that more of that than scares. I want to say as a quote unquote horror movie, this could be construed as lame almost, but at the same time, I would differ a bit and say as a quote unquote horror movie, it's more tame than lame.
Good.
It's very low key. It gets spookier in the last quarter, but it's really more of a psychological drama about trauma than a traditional horror movie. So there you have it. I mean,
and I think it's also geared towards younger kind of tween, preteen type of kids too, right? I mean, it's not meant for adults. That's how I viewed it, right?
I guess you know what? But I think it's slow for kids.
Okay. Yeah.
And I don't know what it's telling kids. I mean, these kids, it's a weird film. It's not at all what I expected. I don't see it making 50 million opening weekend.
Well, it is also on what is it, Peacock? It's
on Peacock.
And streaming on Peacock too. So maybe if you combine both of those, it might get a lot of eyeballs. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know how they determine what's successful.
True.
Yeah,
right.
Who knows? Yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of go ahead, Kim.
I was just gonna say, is this one of those things where the more they advertise it, the worse the movie is?
Or if they don't advertise it enough and it just comes out like a week, you see a trailer a week before it's being released, you're like, oh, this isn't going to be good.
Well, it's funny because the Five Nights at Freddy's trailer made it look really spooky. And
it does, yeah.
But really, it's about, I think it's just under 2 hours, but the first hour and 10 minutes is all this like psychological backstory about this guy and when he was young. This isn't a spoiler. Well, maybe it is a spoiler. Never mind. It's not. It
just starts off slow, is what you're saying. So brace yourself.
Yeah, the last maybe 20 minutes, there's some like spooky stuff, but it's a slow movie.
My son hated Chuck E. Cheese. He hated the animatronics. He wants to see this movie really badly, so he's still going to see it. And my daughter's going to stream it, so I think the kids are going to watch it.
Yeah, well, let me know. I'm interested in knowing what they think. Yeah, maybe I'm just the wrong audience for this movie. But
let's see. Well, are you the right audience for this movie, Tim? Dix the musical?
Oh gosh. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, yeah, right.
I mean, I'm imagining it's literally in the name what it's about. I don't know.
Well, yeah. What to say about Dix the musical? Okay, it's from the director of Borat. And
I like Borat, actually.
Yeah, me too. And the last 5 seasons of Seinfeld. Larry Charles is the guy's name. Yeah, comes Dix the musical. It's based on this off-Broadway musical, which I never even heard of. It's called Effing Identical Twins. But the effing is you're supposed to use the F word, right? Okay. And it's an outright musical comedy about, what is this about? Oh. Okay, wait a minute. No, I can do this. I can do this succinctly. Okay, it's about 2 misogynist heterosexual men who discover that they're identical twins separated at birth, who turn gay, fall in love with each other, and get married.
What?
And there are lots of songs. And this is not
but they're brothers.
Identical twin brothers.
Identical twin. Well, look, hey, you know what? There's a song in here called "Love Is Love, Even When It's Ugly."
No, if you want to get conservatives up in an uproar, I can only imagine when they hear about this movie.
Show this in the Bible Belt. Oh my God. It will electrify the MAGA people. Anyway, I really like musicals, so I was biased going into this thinking, well, it will be fun. But I can't decide whether to recommend it or not. The first half of it is all like shock for shock's sake. There's a lot of the F-bomb thrown around, some potty humor. It's very immature, stupid, silly, puerile stuff. And it wasn't as profane and shocking as its creators and stars, Aaron Johnson and Josh Sharp, wanted you to think it was. Okay. And I'm just saying to myself, this is just a piece of crap. But I mean, I don't always trust my perceptions anymore because they're in flux all the time. By the time it was over, it kind of won me over.
Really?
I think as a satire of the musical form, it worked from time to time. There's certain theatrical musical conventions, especially song and character wise, that they nailed. And once you got used to the silliness of the whole concept, I mean, it's a really weird, messed up and wacky out there movie, but it became funnier as it went along. And as you got used to the like stupidity of the whole concept, and by the time it was over, and the more I thought about it, in retrospect, the funnier it became. Like I mentioned, there's a song called love is love, even when it's ugly. That makes me laugh just saying it. And the cast, oh my God, the cast is really game. And given the high concept of the material, the entire cast have to be all in for this movie to work at all. Megan Mullally of Will and Grace,
Yeah,
she gives the most bizarre performance as the mother of the twins, a mother without a urethra. Yeah, Nathan Lane plays their dad. Bowen Yang plays God, who's gay, by the way. Bottom line, I think you know what you're going to get when you look at the title, Dix the Musical. That's this movie summed up perfectly. And if you're game for what that title implies, you'll probably be in the bag for it.
Wow.
It's like awful, but it's funny. It's stupid. It's ridiculous. But then you're thinking, well, that's what they're doing. But it works in a way. But it kind of works in a way. But I mean, honestly, conservatives are going to be up in arms about this.
I mean, just from the description that you gave, I would say so.
Well, when Kim said, but they're brothers, I think that was the point. That's what they, oh my God.
I mean, I probably won't see it in theaters, but I might have to check it out when it gets to streaming, because I got to see what that's all about.
Well, you know what's interesting too is the marketing. It's been really hard for me to see this movie because the press screenings have been virtually like hardly anything, and then it's only playing in select theaters. I finally caught up with it, and it was in a small theater. And I think it was one showing a day. They're being really, really careful about how they're rolling out this movie for obvious reasons, I think. Right. But oh my God, it's a trip. What
Dix,
can I say?
The musical. Well, Dix, Tim Sika, you gave us a lot to choose from.
A lot to chew on.
A lot. Yeah. Yes, indeed. We love you. Thank you so much. Have a fabulous weekend. And we'll talk to you next week.
Back at you, ladies. We'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye. Yeah, Dix, the musical. What more can you say? I mean, what more could you say? All right. So that's the show. Stay on YouTube, obviously. Mark Thompson is next. Yeah. A reminder. And I forgot to make the banner. Damn it. 6:30 tonight, Red Jack Saloon in San Francisco. I am going to be there to deliver the mystery box to the winner, Sasha, and say hi to everybody that can make it out there. Lori above the bar and everybody else. Thank you to Robin, who kicked us some PayPal money to have some cocktails tonight. So thank you. But yeah, so if you guys can make it, the Red Jack Saloon in San Francisco. Let me show you guys the pictures of it. The picture of the outside of it. Where did the picture go? There it is. Okay. That's where we're going. Red Jack Saloon. I'm taking the train up with my husband. So I'd love to see you guys there. Let's give Lori some business. 6:30 p.m. Red Jack in San Francisco tonight. And I don't know how long I'm going to be staying. So I'm just putting it out there. I might be there for 1 hour. I might be there for 2 hours. I might be rolling my ass home. Who the hell knows? I don't know where the night will take me, but I will be there around 6:30 tonight. I hope you guys come and say hi. Please let me.
Bay Street, right? Bay.
Oh, now you're putting me on the spot.
No.
I don't know.
No, it is. I know it's on Bay. Yeah.
It's on Bay Street. Okay. So there you go. Bay Street, 6:30 tonight, Red Jack Saloon. Let's have a cocktail, raise a glass together. And yeah, so it's going to be a great time. Thank you to everybody that donated to the super chat today. Doug came in with $5. So did Harry with the $5. Thank you. And Wes with $5. And then Maud came in with $25. Thank you guys so very much. Please, you guys, sign up to become an official Medorable on our Patreon. We really depend on you guys. This is a 100% crowdfunded show. Go to thenikkimedoroshow.com. Sign up for the Patreon in whatever amount you can afford once a month. And we really, really appreciate each and every one of you. So I'll see those of you who can make it there tonight. If not, next week. We love you all. Have a great, great weekend. Stay safe and stay here for the Mark Thompson Show and After Party Live. Bye.
Nikki, you're all so awesome. You're proud, like a beautiful blossom. You're all so the best. I really can't rest. You're all so awesome.
Wow. Okay.